Hello, everyone. MB Geek, MB Geeks Let's Talk. This is kind of an opening box session. Many of you know I was a big RPGer back in the day, pen and paper, and that's what kept me out of a lot of trouble throughout my life. It was a big impact on my geek culture, my understanding of being around geeks and being very accepting and more tolerant than I think a lot of people did. One of the biggest games that we played the most was called Vampire the Masquerade. This was a game this is by White Wolf. It was a lot of fun. We had a great time. And I had so many books to that game. And then unfortunately, like we do sometimes, we grow up, we think we're too old for this shit, and then we get rid of it. And then we start to regret it. So thankfully, I have now reclaimed, or I should say bought, but reclaimed some of the stuff I used to have from Vampire the Masquerade. So I'd like to show you. This is Vampire the Masquerade, the core book, 2nd edition. This is the one we used. I have Vampire 5th edition, but it seems a little too more like Requiem, which I did not like. So it is nice that, I can go back to the original that I had. I did not have 1st edition. Everything we did was based off of 2nd edition. And this deals with all the different the main Camarilla vampire clans. Then we have the player's guide to another one that I missed, the Sabbat. Think of them as the other side of the Camarilla. The Camarilla is more quiet about things. These folks are a little more ruthless, but not necessarily any less. Some clans are part of the Sabbat, some clans are part of the Camarilla, some clans are not part of it. And then another personal favorite of mine, this was a great book I remember reading, talking about The Dirty Secrets of the Black Hand. Now, it's supposedly the Black Hand were supposedly part of the Sabbat, like a subsection of it, but we always used to make this joke like, psst, we're not part of the Sabbath. it was funny. Next up I got here are many of the clan books, because each clan, each vampire, there are bloodlines, or not bloodlines, there are bloodlines. Those are lower than clans. Those are the sub-clans. But we have the main clans. When I was doing this, I believe it was 13 completely. And I used to have pretty much all these books, so it's nice to have them back. It's going to be nice to reread them and get back into this. All clans of vampires have certain strengths, but each one has a unique weakness. So you have here, for example, the La Sombra. These are the ones, their weakness, they can't be seen in mirrors. The Ravenos are considered to be the vagabonds, the charlatans, the gypsies of the vampire world. The Gangrel, the more animalistic, the more... that's basically it. They have a history of tempers, and they're a little more violent and a little more into animals, in attune with them. Giovanni, another good set. It's been a while since I've read this book, so it's going to be a little while before I remember it, but I believe they were the Necromancer ones. Now, the Ventrue. The Ventrue are actually considered to be more the politician types. They're effective leaders. In fact, if you ever watched Kindred the Embraced, back when it came out early on, it was based on Vampire the Masquerade. Unfortunately, it only lasted 1 season. The Assamites, what they are is basically, they are the assassins. And they practice a form of what is called diablerie. Now, one of the things is there are different generations to vampires. And it is considered not appropriate to kill and drink the blood of a higher generation vampire because that's considered diablerie. And while you gain that generation, it also can be seen through a certain power. I believe it was Auspex, but it's been a while. That if they see that in you, they can tell you diablerized a higher vampire. We have the Toreador. These are more the musicians, the artists, things of that nature. They are the socialites. They are actually more in tune with mortals, because a lot of times they'll have what are called havens, places where humans and vampires can go together, where it's all taken care of, where it's all neutral. And a lot of times, depending on who the Toreador is, might actually have, the prince's ear, which is the prince of the city. The Tzimisce, they are basically... now I'm drawing a blank. That's why I said it's been a while since I've read these. And we got the Tzimisce. These are, they call them the Fiends. This was actually one of the clans I never actually thought about playing. This is a little Cocoa for Cocoa Puffs. Another thing is you can actually have humans or animals drink the vampire blood and create what are called ghouls. And the ghouls are loyal to the vampire that they do this with. Now, one of the key factors is once that means they can live a long time, but if they don't get the blood regularly, and they will start to age to their normal level. And I mean, we're talking rapid. We're not talking slowly. It will pick up. So if you're a 150-year-old ghoul and you don't get vampire blood in a reasonable time, yeah, you're dead. Anyway, folks, I'm looking forward to getting back into reading these things and getting reversed in it, and hopefully maybe one of these days I can start putting a game together. Be great. Anyway, folks, that was my unboxing. MB Geek. Have a blessed one.